Today in the East Etoile kitchen, I have a cranberry orange bundt cake, perfect for the holidays. Actually, is perfect for whenever. I got you with the ingredients in the description, so let's go ahead and get into this recipe. Now, starting off, we're going to make an orange zest sugar mixture. It's going to be super easy. 2 cups of granulated sugar, just like that. You're going to go ahead and put it into a small bowl. Then we're going to zest a whole orange, all right? So we're going to go ahead and zest a whole orange. We're going to take that zest and we're going to mix it in with that sugar, and it's going to make a nice orange zest sugar for our cranberry bundt cake. So you see I zest the orange and I put it right in with the sugar and I mix it. That's all you're going to do. Go ahead and mix the sugar with the orange zest and set it aside. Now let's start with our cake batter. We are going to need to start with 12 tablespoons of softened unsalted butter. That's very important. Then we're going to go ahead and add our orange zest sugar that we just made, and we're going to go ahead and mix that together. Now I'm going to show you what we're going to do with it. We are going to go ahead and cream the mixture. Alright, so we're going to cream that softened butter with the sugar, and it's going to be chunky at first, and we're going to smooth it on out, and I'm going to walk y'all through it. It's going to be amazing, and it's going to build the flavor for this cake. Now you're going to need 3 eggs, 3 whole eggs for this recipe, and we're going to add 1 egg at a time. As you can see, the mixture started out chunky, now it's smoothing on out. So now that's our second room temperature large egg. We're going to go ahead and mix that in. As you can see, it's creaming perfectly. So now we're going to go ahead and add the last egg in. Remember, 1 egg at a time, and you're going to need 3 whole eggs for this recipe. Now to the cake batter, I will add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Now the next component is optional, but I do recommend it. 1 teaspoon of orange extract. That's just going to enhance the flavor of the cake. It is optional. Now, I am using a hand mixer. I have this on second speed. You can bring out the good old whisk if you need to, but I do recommend the hand mixer, alright? Now, let's go ahead and start with our dry ingredients. So we're going to go ahead and prepare that. I'm going to start off with 3 cups of all-purpose flour. This is going to be really easy. I'm going to walk you guys through it. Alright, ½ teaspoon of nutmeg. We're going to go ahead and add that to our flour, just like that. Then 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Alright, and then you're going to need a ½ teaspoon of baking soda, and can't forget you will need a pinch of salt, about 1/4 teaspoon. Now go ahead and combine the ingredients, and listen, I told y'all I have all of the ingredients in the description for you all to follow. Alright, so now we're going to combine the wet and dry ingredients. Now before we do that, make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel for more content and more recipes from East Etoile. Don't forget to add the dry and wet ingredients together. Now we have a few more items to add, so stay with me. Now add some buttermilk. You need 1 1/4 cup of buttermilk, just like that. Go ahead and add that in. To that you will need a ½ cup of vegetable oil. Alright, so go ahead and put that in the mixture, just like that. Now we're going to go ahead and combine this mixture, alright? Now it's very important that you don't over mix the batter. You just want everything to combine. It should look just like that. Now yes, a secret ingredient. We're going to add 1 pack of vanilla pudding. Alright, trust me, it's going to be so good. Pudding is in this cake mix and it's going to be amazing. I'm telling you, it's going to be a crowd pleaser for you and your family. Now the best part, we take some fresh cranberries, 1 2 cups, add a little bit of flour, about a ½ tablespoon of flour, so they don't sink to the bottom of the cake once it's baking. Go ahead and pour that in, and you will need to fold the cranberries into the cake batter. Yes, fold. We're not going to stir. Go ahead and fold it in just like that. Now set that aside. Now we are going to preheat the oven to 350 and grab your favorite cake pan. Now this is my favorite bundt cake pan. It got a nice design to it. So go ahead and grab it and we're going to get ready to get baking. All right. Now I do recommend any baking release spray to help release the cake is very important. You want to make sure you coat whatever cake pan you decide to use, make sure it's coated completely so the cake release. It will be a disaster if it does not release. Now I'm adding my cake batter to my bundt cake pan, and this is going to be pretty simple at this point. We're going to put it in the oven after, but before we do that, you do want to even out the mixture so that way everything rises and bakes perfectly. Okay, so you see I'm even out the mixture, and look at those cranberries, they're going to be amazing. Now we're going to bake this for 50 to 60 minutes, and while this baking, we're going to go ahead and get our orange sugar glaze started. So let's start with our orange sugar glaze. Now 1.5 cups of powdered sugar. We do want to sift the sugar, is very important, because listen, we all know powdered sugar can get very clumpy, so we definitely want to make sure that we sift it properly so it's nice and smooth. The orange glaze is pretty simple. 2 ingredients. We have our sifted powdered sugar and a squeeze of 1 whole orange. Now I cut my oranges in half because listen, it was too big. As you can see here, this orange that I have was a little large, so I wasn't able to fit it in. So I used my hand for the first one and then used the tool for the second half of the orange, and there we have it. So we're gonna go ahead and whip this up, and I'm gonna show y'all how easy it is to make the glaze. Now look at that. That's the orange juice from the orange that we squeezed, and we have our powdered sugar. Go ahead and whisk that together, and listen, the consistency should look just like that, and it's that simple. You just need enough, thick enough so that way you can drizzle it right on top of your cake. Now we're going to make some quick sugar cranberries. Now here's a tip. You can use granulated sugar or you can use nice cane sugar. It has a bit of a bite to it. I prefer the cane sugar for the sugar cranberries. You can use whatever you like. I just prefer the cane sugar. You just need enough sugar to coat the cranberries. We're going to use it as a garnish, and that's all. Stir it and make sure everything's coated and set that aside. Now we take the cake out of the oven, and we're going to need to let this cake cool. Listen, let it cool 15 minutes exactly. So set your timer. You will need a cooling rack. Once you get a cooling rack, add some parchment paper to that cooling rack. You're going to go ahead and flip it over, all right? And listen, this is the stressful part. Hit the top, and we want to make sure that everything is nice and together, all right? Allow the cake to cool again to room temperature before icing it. If you add the icing while the cake is still warm or hot, the icing is just going to run off. You don't want that. As you can see, the icing is holding right on the cake because the cake is at room temperature. Look at that. That delicious orange glaze. Woo, I cannot wait to take a piece of this cake. All right. So go ahead and garnish it up however you like. You can add some more orange zest to the top of the cake. You can add the sugar cranberries. Do as you please. So for me, I did orange zest, and I took my sugar cranberries and I went ahead and I put that right on top to garnish, just like that. And then I took some orange slices and I went ahead and put that right on the cake. And there you have it. You have your cranberry orange bundt cake. Listen, decorate it however you like. This thing is going to be amazing, and it's so perfect for the holidays. Now, the part we've all been waiting for, let's go ahead and take a slice of this good old cake. We basically did this cake from scratch. We made a homemade glaze for it, sugar cranberries, and look, Ooh, look at the final product. Look at that. We got the cranberries that just burst open when it baked. Look at that. Look how soft the cake is. Telling you the cake is going to be moist. Look at that. Look at that. Listen, give yourself a pat on the back. We did this. Now look at this cake. Super moist. Just melt in your mouth. That's what you want. Listen, this cake is so good. I'm going to go ahead and finish eating this cake. Thanks for checking me out. Eats with Twan. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. And I'm going to catch you guys in the next episode.